Now my car smells like dog poop.
The Silver Dasher.
Good morning. It's Tuesday. I'm in my car and getting ready to start the breakfast dash. So let's get the show on the road. So I'm going to go ahead and start the app. Let's see if it asks me if I have a hot bag. Nope, didn't ask me this time. All right. So yesterday was kind of a hit and miss. Got some, as far as number of orders was decent, but the orders were, as I say, low and long. It was bad. Only had a couple. Here we go.
Drive southeast. Then, in 700 feet.
Wow, there we go. Haven't even pulled out of my garage and got an order for Chick-fil-A. And it's about, $4, 4 miles. I'll take that. Well, right now I'll take anything, unless it's really extreme like that one we had. My second order last night, or yesterday morning, I should say. That was, $14, but 30 miles away. That just for that would have been an hour waste. So not too bad. This is now twice in a row that I had a Chick-fil-A order pop up as soon as I started the application or started the app, and I think I wonder if I can't remember. I have to look it back. So anyway, I'm gonna turn off the overhead and apologize for the darkness, but this early morning is gonna be dark. Hopefully you can see me, but at least you can hear me. But no matter what, so we're heading to Chick-fil-A. So see you in a little bit. Well, I just completed that Chick-fil-A delivery. Sun has started to come up, but it's very overcast, which is good. I like that. According to the car, it's 73 degrees, so it feels pleasant, and it's not raining. Thank God. Yesterday was a little messy, but today, so far so good. So now, hopefully, get another order here real soon. So I'm gonna make my way to my normal parking spot and hopefully pick up an order on the way over there. So anyway, so that's where I'm heading. So I'll see you in a little bit. Well, I made it to home base, sort of. Had to sit for about 5 minutes, and then just now picked up an order for Burger King, which is just across the street. So that's where I'm going. So see you in a little bit. Well, I just picked up that Burger King order, and they were a little swamped. They just had fixed, a big order of burritos or whatever. So it took me a while. And as I was standing there waiting for this one, DoorDash popped me another order, same, Burger King. So I took it. So now I have a stacked order. But of course, that took a little longer because the second order wanted the same type food that the first ordered, and they took a long time to make that. So I was there, 15 minutes. In fact, DoorDash popped up, says, "Hey, do you want to unassign yourself from the first order with no penalty?" And I said, "No, since I'm already there, I'm waiting for the second order to be done. I might as well stay and continue with the first order." So anyhow, that's that's a weird scenario. And they were falling behind. In fact, the manager had to get on the grill and start helping cook. So, like they had just had a big order of, I guess they're an order for an office or something like that. So, anyway, heading to the customer, and I'll see you in a little bit. Well, I just finished delivering those 2 Burger King orders. The first order was to the business that I've been to 20 times. And the reason I like it is it was the very first business that I delivered to when I first started DoorDashing. And I remember the directions to the app was very confusing, and it took me to one of their other buildings that was not their employee, where their employee break room was. So I have learned a lot since then. And so every time I see that address, or that sometimes in the instructions they name the business, and I know exactly where to go. And lo and behold, the second one was to the customer I delivered last week to a new business out here. And I think I mentioned I was very curious, and he gave me a $2 tip right after that. And I think I filmed that. It happened while I was filming. So I talked to him, hey, nice seeing you again. He asked me how I'm doing. I said, I'm doing okay. And then he told me that his mother does DoorDashing, but she does DoorDashing in the major city that we live nearby. In fact, according to what he says, she DoorDashes like the busiest, most traffic and backup area of that city. I said, man, of course there's a lot of restaurants and all that, but it's just the design of the road there is atrocious. So yeah, he said his mom DoorDashes. So anyway, this last order has now positioned me to be able to go to the north end of the gauntlet. So that's where I'm heading. So hopefully if I get lucky, I'll pick up an order on my way to my parking spot. So in the meantime, I'll see you in a little bit. Well, I made it back to home base without picking up an order. And I got there and I sat there for about 2 minutes, and then an order came in. But this is a first for me. It is for Sonic Drive-In, but during a breakfast dash. I've only been to Sonic 3 other times. But this is the first time I'm doing this during breakfast. So it's small. It's $2, but it's only 2 miles. So, but like I said, beggars can't be choosers. So anyway, waiting at the red light. So I will see you in a little bit. Well, I just dropped off that Sonic order to a local business. Actually, it's the local flower shop, flower gift shop. But they mainly have they do arrangements, but they have flowers for grave sites, and both for the cemetery and the saddle. But they're like right downtown of the city, and they're at the crossroads. Oh, that's very nice of them. I just got a $3 tip from that Sonic Drive-In order. And that's very nice of them. That made my day. So yeah, but their business, and there was two nice ladies in there. And they answered my question because I was asking because both my parents are gone, and I buy flowers every once in a while. The plastic, they have to be plastic. Very nice ladies. But yeah, where their business is located, I mean, it is hub central. I mean, and it looks like it's been there. That business has been there for a long time, but they're right in down to the nerve center of the city, so they got a prime location. So anyway, so yeah, that tip made my day. $3 tip, yeah. I'll take dollar tips. That reminds me of a story. When I was in high school, when I was a sophomore and junior in high school, I mentioned, my dad was in the military. We were stationed at Fort Benning, Georgia, which is home of the infantry training. My dad had just graduated from the Command Sergeant Major's Academy in Texas, Now, my dad had been, for all of his career up to that point, was in the military police officer. So, but then they reassigned him to infantry. So went to the. Now my dad tried to get assignment closer to home, but he was originally going to be assigned to Colorado Springs, Colorado, and that's pretty far because my dad was from Mississippi, and I was still a long way from home. So the closest thing you can get to was Columbus, Georgia, which it's not too bad. But anyway, while I was there, and so I worked at the commissary bagging groceries. And this is where I learned some of my concepts about customer service. That Fort Benning commissary is one of the largest that at the time. This is early 80s, because I graduated 82, so this is 80, 81, 79, 80, and 81. We had, there were like 30 checkout lines, and, especially on payday, and we have a ton of worker baggers. And the way it was, you have a pool, you would have one bagger at the front of the cashier line, and two in the back. So what happens is, customer came in, and that person up front would unload the cart, and they would do it in such a way that they would unload. I still do this today when I go shopping. You unload all the cold stuff first, or you try to, so the two baggers down at the end can bag all the cold stuff together, and then of course you try to get the heavy stuff together and all that. And then one of the baggers, then when it's done, we had these huge carts that were double layered to put groceries. And if you're good enough, you could put like 12 bags of groceries. And back then, groceries were in paper. There was no such thing as plastic. So you stack it up there in this huge cart. Sometimes I've had to use two carts for some of the families, military families that, lots of children. And we only worked for tips. Is why I bring the story up. So typically, back then, a good tip would be $1. Usually, if you just have just one bag, one cart, and you go out there and you walk with the customer out to the car, and you would unload the groceries, the bag, into the car. This is kind of like before. It's kind of like similar to what Walmart does, when you order online and they load it there. This is way before then. And then you quickly made it back, and then you line yourself up to another cashier line. And so you take, it's like a queue. You just line up until, okay, I'm next. And so you go up to the front, then the front person. So when that person goes, that person comes to this position, and when that goes, then you finally get it. So you have to wait on your third customer before you get a chance. But another thing that we did, though, is there was the quick checkout. They had a checkout line for people that only had like 3 or 4 items or something. So, and you usually don't. You get to stay there and just bag the groceries for them and hand them to the customer. And you had a little box there, and the customer put in, a quarter or something like that, and you just stayed there. Now, if somebody needed to have a takeout to be carried out, then that person would ask one of the other baggers to take that order out. So, and that was covenant. That was a waiting list you had to sign up for, and you wanted one on a Saturday, especially a payday Saturday. Oh, you made pretty good. But there was a elderly lady that was bagging. This is one of the lessons I learned. And she said, no matter how small the order, even if it's one bag, offer the customer for you to carry it for them. So fine, the customer can carry it. But the thing is, 9 times out of 10, when you just carry that one bag for the customer, 9 times out of 10, they're going to give you $1. And you just have to carry one bag instead of a whole grocery cart full of stuff. And her philosophy is, the faster you go out there to carry, orders out, carry the groceries out, the faster you do that, the more you get in an hour, you make more money. And so that's what I'm trying to do. Take every order, basically trying to get the volume. And I've seen other YouTube people who do DoorDash that say, my acceptance rate is only 7% because I'm picky. I only pick the good orders, And there's some other things, if you keep your acceptance rate up, the good orders are going to come automatically. And the thing is, if you keep your acceptance rate up, you're going to get good orders along. And so I'm going to try to follow the volume, get as many orders as I can, and push out and get as many tips as possible. I've tried to do that, and I always remember that elderly lady. She was very wise on how to do. And when I started doing that, when I was bagging, sure enough, I started making more tips because I just volunteered, help to carry out. And that's easy. So I left in cart, pushing a big old cart full of like 10 bags of groceries. So anyway, I'm here back at base. Hopefully I'll pick up another order here real soon. So in the meantime, I'll see you in a little bit. Wow, what a strange morning it is. Went back to my normal parking spot and sat there for 30 minutes. I've got 40 minutes left in my dash. And so I decided to move to Jack's Air, because it's easy for me. And as soon as I've been here for 1 minute, I got a McDonald's order for $3 before 0.7 miles. I said, okay. So like I said, beggars can't be choosers. I take it. So unfortunately now it's starting to rain. Just a little bit, little sprinkles. So hopefully it won't be so much right now, and I hope it's not raining when I start doing my lunch dash, because delivering in the rain, that sucks. So anyway, heading to Walmart, which is right across the street from Jack's. So see you in a little bit. Well, I just delivered that McDonald's order, and it really is just like practically right there by McDonald's. But what makes this delivery unique for me is I have bought a new camera. I have this camera right here, which stays put for when I'm driving on it. But I have another camera. It's a small one. It's a Instago 360S that I got a hat clip for, and or I got this, it can be magnetic clip. I wear it's got this little necklace that you can magnetic clip. So anyway, I bought that to show me delivering the order to the house. And this house I just did, in which I recorded, was the very first house that I tried the new camera. And there I did it again. I think if y'all remember, I mentioned that, there were wild chickens in the neighborhood. That's the house. So, so that was interesting. Anyway, I'm now driving into the Jack's parking lot. I'm going to wait for hopefully another hour. I got exactly 30 minutes left in the dash, so hopefully I can get better luck picking up orders from this area since my dash is almost over. This has been really slow. Surprisingly slower than it was yesterday, even though yesterday was a Monday. Or maybe that DoorDasher I met the other day. No, I think I met him. It was yesterday. He said Tuesdays was his slowest day. And so far this breakfast dash is slower than yesterday's. So anyway, I'm here, and oh, ho ho ho! I stand.
Drive east, then turn left up.
Wow, just picked up an order. I'm going to Chick-fil-A, and it's a high, short distance order. So, all right, on the Chick-fil-A. See you in a little bit. Well, I just dropped off that Chick-fil-A order. Excuse me. And it was to the bank that I have an account with. It was for the back office, and so yeah, I've always been to where the tellers are and stuff like that. So this is towards the back, where they have actually delivered to the human resource office. So that was interesting. And just as I completed that order, I picked up an order from Burger King. And this will be my last dash, because it's now 5 minutes till 9. So yeah, thought I was going to have a lower than expected day for breakfast dash, and lo and behold, the last two, right at the last minute, got two dashes, and hopefully it'll make me a good money this morning. So on the Burger King. See you in a little bit. Well, I delivered that Burger King order to a regular customer of mine. This is like the third time I've delivered him. I always hand it to him, and he seems to be a regular customer of Burger King. The employees at Burger King recognize his name all the time. So what was unique about this particular delivery, Burger King gave him one of the Burger King crowns, and they taped it to his order. So when I got there, and I before I gave him the food, I said, Burger King just has a new rule. Oh yeah, what's that? When they give you the crown, you got to wear it. So he took it off me. He put the crown on and went in there. From my understanding, he orders from Burger King all the time for lunch. So, and he walked into the building with the Burger King crown on. So that's a good way to end the dash. It looks like I might have did a little bit better from yesterday. So I'm heading home. And I will give a summary of this morning's dash. So, see you in a little bit. Welcome back. I am home, and I'm going to take a break, have lunch, and get ready for my lunch dash here in a little bit. But to give you a summary of today's breakfast dash, it wound up being better than I thought because of those last two orders that came in the last minute. So my total is $39.36. That's better than yesterday. I had a total of 7 deliveries for a total time of 2 hours and 55 minutes. So yeah, hopefully my lunch dash will continue the trend of getting these orders in quickly, and I'm going to try my best to accept every order. Hopefully I don't get that $10 30 mile order. That'd be tough. But so anyway, going to take a break, and then I'll see you in a little bit. Bye. Welcome back. It's now time for my lunch dash. Let's get started. Go ahead and start the app. All right. Hopefully you get lucky. Yeah, I just was looking at some other YouTube videos of other DoorDashers, and if you remember, past few days I kept getting asked if I had a bag, which I do. And one time I had one order picked up that you got to take a photo of the order to verify. I had to actually take a picture of the bag. It seems that recently DoorDash is requiring all Dashers to use a hot bag. Now I've seen several Dashers in my area. When I see them, they just show up, grab the food from the bag, and walk to their car. put it on the seat next to them, and just drive off. No hot bag, no nothing. Me personally, I use a hot bag because, one, like I said, I'm trying to do this as a business, but with the insulated hot bag, and plus I'm using towels to help, keep the food from shifting and all that, but the towels also help keep the food hot. At the same time, was another lesson I learned, if I had some cold items like, ice cream or Frosties like from Wendy's and all that, I keep them separated from the hot stuff, so I put them on the opposite side of the bag, but I still use the towels to insulate them and to wedge them. So that's to keep both hot food hot and cold food cold. So I guess DoorDash is starting to double down and make sure all the DoorDash drivers are using hot bags, which, it's understandable. And for some reason, DoorDash put me on pause. So I never pushed that. So anyway, so they're double downing, making sure, all your drivers are using a bag. And, as a customer, you want to get your food delivered as hot as possible. And one of the other things that I do, and you probably have seen in previous videos, we're required to take a picture of the food at the destination, like usually a door or something like that. Well, I take the picture of the food inside my bag to kind of keep the customer informed and say, yeah, I'm using a hot bag and I'm doing my best to keep your food hot. So, and since I've been doing that, and since I'm following that philosophy, the tips have started to grow. So anyway, heading back towards my initial waiting station for lunch. Hopefully I can pick up an order here real soon. So see you in a little bit. Oh, I just ran into something disturbing while I was doing the intro of the lunch dash. The app automatically went to pause mode, and so I had to manually select restart the dash. It's like when you pause, like you need to go somewhere, use the restroom and all that, so you don't send me in orders. So
drive northeast on Dr. J.
And I said, okay. And then 2 minutes later, it paused again. So I'm going to do some research. I found make sure some of my iPhone settings are on. So I restarted the app, and that seems to fix the issue, because sitting here 5 minutes and I've finally got an order. So I'm now heading to Whataburger. It's been a while since I've been to Whataburger. So, but when I get home, I'm going to investigate that a little bit further. See if maybe some of my phone settings are not set up correctly. Don't know why, they should be. But anyway, heading to Whataburger, and we'll see you in a little bit. Well, I just dropped off that Whataburger order, and surprise, I went back to the daycare that I went there yesterday. In fact, the little ones were having their lunch, and they were having spaghetti. And I'm gonna be honest, it smelled pretty good from where, but they were having fun, stuff in their faces, and cute little kids. So anyway, hopefully my app is working correctly, because it took a while to get that first order. So, but I am now heading to the north end of the gauntlet. So hopefully I get to pick up an order here real soon. So in the meantime, see you in a little bit. Well, that paid off somewhat. Just as I'm going through the gauntlet, just as I was approaching my final destination, I picked up a order from Buffalo Wild Wings. It's been a while since I've been to Buffalo Wild Wings. It's been at least a week. So anyway, heading to Buffalo and see how this is going to work out. So see you in a little bit. Well, I just dropped off the Buffalo Wild Wings order. Came out here to a neighborhood I've been before. In fact, this is if y'all remember the angry customer that I had, and it was a stacked order. Well, this is the neighborhood that I made the first delivery to, and the angry customer's house is just right over there in that neighborhood. So some good and bad memories over here. And one of the good is right over here, which y'all can't see, but right over here was the customer that I dropped out that I thought he was waiting for the school bus. So yeah, this is a lot of it's a high-end scale neighborhoods around here. And that's the gated community that I went to with that angry customer. Boy, that was a nightmare. So anyway, this order brought me towards the north end of the gauntlet. So I'm going to run the gauntlet and see if I can pick up an order. So before I get to my normal parking station. So wish me luck, and I'll see you in a little bit. Well, running gauntlet was successful. I picked up an order from Taco Bell, which is right here. So hopefully this will be a sign that things are improving. It is a little long, but like I said, I'm trying to rework my acceptance. So anyway, let's see what happens. See you in a little bit. Well, I just picked up the Taco Bell order, and I just looked at the address of where I'm going. It's bringing a smile to my face. I'm going back to the retirement home that's right off the interstate. I think I've mentioned a couple times in videos. It's where the donkeys are and the horses, so I'm going back out there. So it's familiar territory, and now that I see the address, I recognize the customer's name. So anyway, I'm heading out there to the retirement home, so I'll see you in a little bit. Well, I just finished that drop off, and that was fun. The lady at the desk recognized me right away and said, "Yeah, you come here often?" Yeah, says I told her if this keeps up, I may need my own personalized parking spot, just for me. And then the customer I required a PIN number, and so I got to meet the lady that I've delivered many times before, but now I finally got the name and face together. So it was a lot of fun. And then as I was leaving, she said, "Well, I'll see you tomorrow." I said, "I surely hope so." And I told her, I'm hoping I see you again today. So that was a lot of fun. So anyway, heading back into town. I will be on the south side of the gauntlet. So hopefully I can, which is where my base is. So hopefully when I get there, I'll pick up, hopefully pick up an order sooner than later. So either way, see you in a little bit. Well, that was pretty good. I just parked into my station, and a Zaxby order came in, and Zaxby's just right over there. So maybe things are looking up. Knock on wood. So anyway, heading to Zaxby's. See you in a little bit. Well, that was another nice, pleasant surprise. Boy, this whole day I'm just visiting my old reoccurring customers. The pair of ladies that live out here. This is like the third or fourth time I've come to see them, and very nice. Unfortunately, they have a puppy dog that he's constantly has to wear a collar. The donut of shame, because he keeps licking his tail and making raw spots. And I told him, I gave him the suggestion that during the summertime, and he's looks like it's a Saint Bernard breed or something. He's a big dog, but lots of fur. And I suggested we had a situation like that with one of our pets, that we had him shaved. In fact, well, the dog made him look like a poodle. Had the mane, but the rest of him was was shaved. But I seem to remember big animals with lots of fur, especially in the heat. It's a heat rash. It's causing the irritation of the skin. And they thought about that, and so, but of course we had our vet do that, or groomer do that, and course, but nowadays, that's pretty expensive. So they thought about it. So they're going to have to look into shaving him himself, because that poor dog. It's, the owner's doing the best they can. They're trying to put that cone on him so he doesn't lick himself raw. So anyway, but it was still nice surprise to see them again. And when they saw me, they smiled and said, "Hey, how's it going?" And so, boy, this whole day is just revisiting customers. So it's pleasant. So anyway, I am now heading back to base, back to the southern portion of the gauntlet. So hopefully I'll pick up another order there. So see you in a little bit. Well, I almost made it to my parking spot, and then I got a Burger King order. And so I like this. Let's keep this going. As soon as I finish with an order and I get within range, let's pick up another order. So there I am. So anyway, heading to Burger King. See you in a little bit. Well, I just dropped off that Burger King order, and bam, just as I hit the complete delivery, picked up another order back to Buffalo Wild Wings. Now this is what I'm talking about. Back to back to back to back. This is what I like. So anyway, on the way to Buffalo Wild Wings. See you in a little bit. Well, I just dropped off that Buffalo Wild Wings, but good Lord. Buffalo Wild Wings is really bad about this. They just take forever to get the order in. I sat there 10, 15 minutes. And this is not the first time. I remember one time, I was there not as a DoorDasher, but I ordered it for my wife and I. And I ordered it online, and then I waited 30 minutes and I went there. It took another 40 minutes to get my order. And of course, there was a million people waiting for orders, at the time DoorDashing. But whew, man. So I delivered to a hairstyling salon that I've drove by many times, and they have a unique name. And I kind of looked at it and said, that's a unique name. And so I finally talked to somebody and said, yeah, we're honest hairstylists. So anyway, wow, that was a long time. So I'm actually on the north end of the gauntlet, heading south. So I'll head to my normal waiting position. So wish me luck. See if I can pick up another order here real soon. So see you in a little bit. Well, I think my luck has run out. I ran down the gauntlet and decided, since I hadn't picked up anything, I stopped at my secondary parking area and then sat there for 10 minutes. I've got exactly 45 minutes left in my dash. What am I thinking? I'm a gamer. I think it's stash. Anyway, so I finally picked up an order back to Burger King. So I think this is the second or third time I've been there today. So anyway, on to Burger King. See you in a little bit. Very nice decoration. At least they're decorating for very nice. Well, I just dropped off that quick Burger King order. All it was just an Oreo milkshake or frosted looking thing. And it's probably 0.7 miles away, so it's just a quick thing. But heading back to my normal spot, I got 30 minutes left in the dash. So I hope to pick up an order here real soon. I was going good, really good there for a while, but then it's kind of gone cold. So keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully I get another order here before I have to end my dash. So see you in a little bit. Well, just as my dash was about to end in 4 minutes, I picked up an order. Not a food order, I'm going to PetSmart. Today was hot and cold. I was going gangbangers, for about an hour, back to back to back orders, and then 2 o'clock happened, dead cold. It's been a while since I've done that, so today's gonna be an okay day, from what I understand. Morning was decent. So my goal, I try only to work 4 days a week because I got other stuff I need to do. So I try to hopefully at least make $350. If I make $350, I'm happy. I'm gonna make over $400. I'm ecstatic. So anyway, this will definitely be my last dash. It got warmer. It's almost 90 degrees. So I'm glad for that because that heat takes a lot out of you. So anyway, on to PetSmart, and then after that I'll head home. So see you in a little bit. Well, this is definitely a new one for me, and it seems like the new ones for me always involve PetSmart. If y'all remember last week, I picked up 40 live crickets. Like that was a new one. This time I'm picking up 4 large dog beds. I mean, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it feels up. I mean, these are huge. I mean, these are for big dogs, miniature horses. But it's an order. It's an order. There are going to be some happy doggies with these pet beds. So anyway, on to the customer, and after this I'll be heading home and give a summary of the lunch dash. So I'll see you in a little bit. Well, that's it. I delivered the dog beds. Very nice lady. She said the beds she currently has, and she's got big dogs, they're falling apart, and so we're going to have some very happy dogs with those new beds. So, well, I'm glad I got it because that DoorDash saved the day for me for this, because things were not looking good. So, but now that really helped save the day. So anyway, heading home, and I will give you the summary of today when I get there. So see you in a little bit. Well, I'm home. I'm done with the dash. But something weird happened. I delivered that PetSmart order. It was 4 huge dog beds. Now my car smells like dog poop. I wonder if PetSmart had those beds on the floor and customers were letting their dogs try out the beds. So we'll hope the customer that I delivered to will not be offended, but if she's got big dogs, she probably doesn't even, notice this, but yeah. So anyway, I'm back home, and like I said, that PetSmart order did help me. I accepted all the dashes today for the lunch dash. And let me get a summary here. So today, I had a total of $60.90 with a total of 8 deliveries. That PetSmart, that's what did it for me, because I was in the 40s, and that PetSmart order was $16.55. So I'm happy for that. So that makes me, I'm looking at, I just barely broke $100, which I'm happy about, because I barely broke $80 yesterday. So like I said, I'm trying to, make $350 for the week, $400, to be ecstatic. So anyway, I'm going to be honest, this was a real fun day, despite the slowdown, right after 2 o'clock, everything kind of went dead for a while. But that PetSmart order saved me. I had a lot of fun meeting up with repeat customers face to face, especially the two ladies on my last orders. It's always fun to talk to them. And then the gentleman that delivered the Burger King he put the Burger King hat on. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed coming with me on this trip. If you like this video, please like it. And if you are interested in seeing more of this stuff, please subscribe to my channel and help me build this channel. I'm going to be honest. Today was a fun day, and I enjoyed doing this. And like I said, I'm a retiree doing deliveries to make supplemental income. And we will do this again tomorrow. So, till then, we'll see you later.